CQ calling all radio amateurs and listeners. This is Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Britain. This broadcast comes to you in plain English from amateur radio station Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Mapleshall, Bedfordshire. Welcome and thanks for joining us. It's Sunday the 14th of September and here is the GB2RS news broadcast prepared for you by the RSGB for all radio amateurs and listeners. You can also find this news bulletin on our website at rsgb.org along with links to groups and organisations that we may mention in this broadcast. This week's news headlines. We hear from Radio Communication Foundation trustee Andy Webster, Golf 7 Uniform Hotel November, on how to inspire the next generation of radio amateurs. Also news that this week we'll launch the RSGB LoRa balloon. And the RSGB board have welcomed Will Richardson, 2 Echo Zero Whiskey Yankee Alpha, as their vice chair. We'll have more on those items a little later. But first, Radio Communications Foundation trustee Andy Webster, Golf 7 Uniform Hotel November, will be at this year's RSGB convention to deliver a fascinating lecture on using radio technology to engage and inspire non-radio amateurs. In particular, he'll consider how to attract young people with science, technology, engineering and maths education settings. Matthew Phillips, Golf 6 Whiskey Papa Juliet, will also be at the convention and he'll discuss how low-power software-defined radio can rejuvenate medium and shortwave broadcasting. These are just two of nearly 50 speakers who'll deliver engaging and topical presentations for your entertainment. So if this isn't enough to entice you, visit the convention web pages at rsgb.org/convention, and there you'll find details on workshops, a drop-in session on the UK Meteor Beacon project, and information on the AMSAT UK Colloquium, as well as the usual GB3HQ station, which will be operating during this year's convention. GB3HQ will host a special 145 Alive net, and that will operate from noon to 3 p.m. on the Saturday. You can join the net or you can check in on the day, and we'll be delighted to record you in the log. The convention is at Kent's Hill Conference Centre, and that's between the 10th and 12th of October. Now, only a few days remain until we launch the RSGB LoRa balloon, so you still have time to take part. In order to do so, go to rsgb.org/LoRa, that's Lima Oscar Romeo Alpha, -balloon, and once you're there, download the detailed guide which will help you to build and code your own LoRa tracker board. You can also find a link to a video in which Fraser, Mike 0 Echo Foxtrot India, will demonstrate the process. And the balloon launch is on Saturday the 20th of September, and that will be at around 11 a.m. British Summer Time. And now the challenge is open to all radio amateurs, but to win one of the two prizes you must be an RSGB member or an affiliated club. Now we're very pleased to welcome Will Richardson, 2 Echo Zero Whiskey Yankee Alpha. He's joining the board and he'll serve until the 2026 RSGB Annual General Meeting. He'll also serve as the board vice chair, and he has significant senior management skills and experience, and he'll be a great asset to help the board achieve its aims. As the autumn term starts at schools and colleges around the country, the RSGB outreach team continues its DMR project to help young people to get on the air. If you're a teacher and if you'd like to take your amateur radio license and set up a school club, we can help you. Along with the Radio Communications Foundation, we offer to pay the license exam fee for 9 teachers to help them and their schools get a school club started. So once you have your license, you can then apply for a free DMR kit, which will be available on loan for 3 months, and that will help you to set up your club. So if you're a teacher interested in starting a school radio club, please email RSGB Youth Chair, that's Chris Aitken, Mike 0 Whiskey India Charlie. Chris's email address is youthchampion, that's all one word, youthchampion.school@rsgb.org.uk. The RSGB National Radio Centre will be closed on Tuesday the 23rd of September, but volunteers will be delighted to welcome you there every other day of that week. And remember that if you're an RSGB member, you get free entry to the world-famous Bletchley Park Estate and to the RSGB's National Radio Centre. To download your voucher, go to rsgb.org/BP voucher. That's Bravo Papa Victor Oscar Uniform Charlie Hotel Echo Romeo. Now we have news of the 13th Scottish Microwave Round Table, or GMRT as it's also known, which will take place at the Museum of Communication in Burnt Island in Fife, Scotland on Saturday the 1st of November, and that will run from 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. They have a very interesting program of speakers, and they'll have microwave test facilities available for you to use. You can also buy components and microwave related items. In the evening, they'll host an optional event dinner at a local hotel. And for more information and to register, you can go to GM Roundtable, that's all one word, gmroundtable.org.uk. And just a note that there are only a few places left, so do book now to avoid disappointment. And now we have a reminder to you to please send details of all your news and events to radcom@rsgb.org.uk, and the deadline for submissions is 10 a.m. on the Thursday prior to the Sunday broadcasts each week. Well, we now have news of rallies and events. The Dover Amateur Radio Club Rally is on Saturday the 20th of September, and that's being held at St Radigan's Community Centre on Poulton Close in Dover, and the postcode is Charlie Tango 170 Hotel Lima, and that runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with entry of £3. And another one for Saturday the 20th is the East Midlands Ham and Electronics Rally, which is being held at Beckingham Village Hall, Southfield Lane in Beckingham, and the postcode is Delta November 104 Foxtrot X-Ray. It'll be open from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m, and you can find more information as well as trader bookings at emerge.uk/rally, and I'll spell that for you. It's Echo Mike Echo Romeo Golf.uk/rally. And now we have the special event news. The Brazilian Amateur Radio Broadcast League is active with special call sign Papa Victor 203 Bravo Romeo. They'll be active until tomorrow the 15th. You can listen for activity on all bands and modes and via QO100 satellite. You can also QSL through Logbook of the World. The Dutch Lighthouse Hunt event will run until the 30th of September. Members of the Dutch radio group will use 11 special call signs, each of which represent a different lighthouse in the Netherlands. For more information and for details of awards that you can get for working the stations, visit qrz.com and enter the call sign Papa Alpha 01 Lima Hotel. That's Papa Alpha 01 Lima Hotel on qrz.com. And now we have the DX news. Chaz, November Kilo 8 Oscar, is active again as 5 Hotel 3 Delta X-Ray. He's operating from Tanzania until the 21st of September. He's operating CW, FT4 and FT8 on the 30 to 10 metre bands. You can QSL via Logbook of the World, EQSL, or directly to Chaz through November Kilo 8 Oscar. Next we have news of Harold, Delta Foxtrot 2 Whiskey Oscar, who is active as 9 X-Ray 2 Alpha Whiskey. He's operating from Rwanda until the 27th of September. He usually operates a CW, SSB, FT4 and FT8 on various bands, including 6 meters and the QO100 satellite. You can QSL via M0OXO's OQRS and Logbook of the World. And now we have a fairly full contest news section. Today the 14th, it's the UK Microwave Group's 24 to 76 gigahertz contest. That runs from 0900 to 1700 UTC. Using all modes on the 24 to 76 gigahertz bands, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Also today, it's the Practical Wireless 70 MHz contest, which runs from 1200 to 1600 UTC. Using all modes on 4 meters, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. And another one for today is the IRTS 70 centimeters counties contest, and that runs from 1300 to 1330 UTC. Using SSB and FM on 70 centimeters, the exchange is signal report and serial number. And stations from Ireland and the Republic of Ireland will also give their, and Northern Ireland, should I say, will also give their county. And another one is the IRTS 2 meters counties contest, running from 1300 to 1500 UTC today, using SSB and FM on 2 meters. The exchange is signal report and serial number. And stations from Ireland and Northern Ireland will also give their county. Now tomorrow the 15th, it's the RSGB's FT4 series contest, and that runs from 1900 to 2100 UTC. Using FT4 on 80 to 10 meters, where contests are allowed, the exchange is your report. Then on Tuesday the 16th, it's the RSGB's 1.3 GHz UK activity contest, which runs from 1900 to 2130 UTC. Using all modes on the 1.3 GHz band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. On Thursday the 18th, it's the RSGB's 70 MHz UK activity contest, and that runs from 1900 to 2130 UTC. Using all modes on 4 meters, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Then on Sunday the 21st, it's the RSGB's 70 MHz Affiliated Societies contest, and that runs from 0900 to 1200 UTC. Using all modes on 4 meters, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. And finally, another one for Sunday the 21st, it's the British Amateur Radio Teledata Group's Sprint PSK 63 contest. That runs from 1700 to 2100 UTC. Using PSK 63 on 80 to 10 meters, where contests are allowed, the exchange is your serial number. Well, that's all for the contest news. We now have the HF Radio Propagation Report. This was compiled for you by Golf 0 Kilo Yankee Alpha, Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha, and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar on Thursday the 11th of September. Well, as of Thursday the 11th of September, it looked like someone had thrown a switch on the sun to turn off all new sunspots. And unless there's a big change, we won't actually see any sunspots on the sun's surface today, the 14th. So clearly, we're no longer at solar maximum. A bigger problem is a large coronal hole on the sun's surface, which will soon turn to face the Earth. It's on the sun's equator, so it's ideally placed for maximum disruption to Earth. A high-speed solar wind stream should reach Earth by the 14th of September, and geomagnetic storms may be possible at higher latitudes. So expect maximum usable frequencies to drop and transpolar paths to be poor once the KP index rises. HF is improving as we head into mid-September. By 1000 UTC, PropQuest shows that the maximum usable frequency over 3,000 kilometers can be as high as 31 megahertz if the KP index stays low. This should continue to improve into October. The best DX last week was again Tango 30, Tango 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 in western Kiribati, this time on 40 meters and 17 meters using FT8. And we also heard 9 Juliet 2 Foxtrot India in Zambia on 17 meters using FT8. Tango Zulu 4 Alpha Mike in Mali was heard on 15 meters SSB. And for Morse enthusiasts, Hotel Charlie 5 Alpha India in Ecuador has been busy on 15 meters CW, according to the CDXC Slack chat group. NOAA predicts that the solar flux index will start the coming week at 125, improving to reach 145 by the end of the week. And the KP index should reach 4 or 5 between the 14th and 16th of September, and that's due to the coronal hole. Well, that's all for the HF propagation news. We now have the VHF and up propagation news. This was compiled by Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar. The unsettled weather is likely to be the main driver of weather-related propagation for the next week. Low-pressure systems are following the jet stream across the Atlantic and over the UK, which is typical for this time of year, so we should expect the odd example of rain scatter for gigahertz operators, and occasional strong winds will start to test the robustness of our antennas after the quieter weather during the summer. There may be some tropo, but we will have to look for it carefully. In a weather pattern such as this, the periods of high pressure tend to act as separators between the lows, and as a result they usually move with similar speed. This makes them short-lived and not particularly good at making strong inversions for tropo. There are 2 low-grade possibilities of weak transient ridges around Tuesday the 16th and Friday the 19th. Meteor scatter is still in a random activity state, although there was a minor shower of the Epsilon Perseids which peaked on the 9th, and we may have a few meteors left in the tail-off. Aurora, on the other hand, appeared lately, so do keep an eye on the KP index for values above 5. For moon bounce operators, today the 14th marks the moon's maximum declination, which is its highest point in the sky. Perigee, which is when the moon is closest to Earth, passed on September the 9th, so path losses are increasing. Sky noise is low and will remain so until the 20th to the 22nd, when the new moon is very close to the sun. And that's all from the propagation team this week. Well, that's all for this week's GB2RS News broadcast, which was brought to you by Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Meppershall, Bedfordshire. We are the Radio Society of Great Britain. We compiled the news and we represent amateur radio and radio amateurs in the UK and abroad. If you have a news item to share, please email it to us as far in advance as possible, and we'll be pleased to include it for you free of charge in the GB2RS broadcasts, Radcom magazine and the RSGB website. Send your news to us at radcom@rsgb.org.uk. And if your news items are time sensitive, then it's really important that you send your news to us by 10 a.m. on the Thursday prior to the Sunday broadcasts. We retain copyright over everything we transmit, and you can find information about amateur radio on our website, which is rsgb.org. You can also download the full schedule of GB2RS broadcasts from rsgb.org/GB2RS schedule. We wish you 7-3 from the GB2RS news team, and we hope you have a lovely Sunday and a great week ahead. This is Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta, now listening for any calls or reports.